CNN does this thing every year where now on New Year's Eve, their hosts get hammered on air. And I think it's real. I think they actually are drinking. It could just be a fake sort of performance, but I think they actually are. And then they babble and they get all goofy and they're drunk on screen. And this is supposed to be really funny and festive. So Anderson Cooper leads this show. And Andy Cohen, who is a radio host, Andy Cohen comes on. And he went into an admittedly satisfying drunken rant about what a terrible mayor, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio was.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, please. Tell us something, Andy.
Watching Mayor de Blasio
Don't go on a rant.
do his
Don't go on a rant.
victory lap dance after 4 years of the
This is how you want to
crappiest
start the
term
new year.
as the mayor of New York. The
That's how
only
you wanna
thing
start the new
that
year?
Democrats and Republicans can
That's
agree
how-
on
I mean,
is
this is
what
how-
a horrible mayor
This is
he
how
has
he-
been.
Wow.
So, sayonara, sucker.
Wow.
2022.
I mean-
it's a new year. Because guess what? I have a feeling
Speaking of
I'm
which-
going to be standing right
of
here
which-
next year. And you know who I'm not going to be looking at? Dancing as the city comes apart.
Totally right. So he's completely right about Bill de Blasio. He's been a complete disaster. All the Democrats I know in New York, almost every single one, which is most of my friends in New York, despise the guy. I think Andy Cohen, at least, may have actually been drunk there because Anderson Cooper keeps trying to reel him in, and Andy Cohen just says, no, I'm not going to do that. And he goes on this drunken rant, which was enjoyable. But generally, I think the CNN drunk thing is just so stupid. More on that in 1 second. First, though, I want you to think back, not only over their past failed predictions, but over the past 90 days. How often did you eat a little too much, drink a little too much, spend a little too much time in the office? How many times did you ignore your wife, children, or friends just to thumb through social media, watch Netflix, YouTube, or a game? How many hours did you waste doom scrolling through headlines? So many men today are distracted. They are dependent on the comforts of this world, making them incapable of even knowing that they're not free to say no to those things. We were made for more than this, okay? If you desire freedom from those attachments, if you desire true freedom, not the freedom to pursue your appetites like an animal, but the freedom to be a better husband, freedom to be a better father, freedom to be a better man for others, I would invite you to check out Exodus 90. Go to exodus90.com/Michael. Exodus 90 is a 90-day program that gets us back to the fundamentals of the faith: prayer, self-denial, and fraternity. More than 50,000 men from around the world, Catholics, Protestants, even people who don't align with the Christian faith, have done this. Of these men, 99% report experiencing greater freedom. You can check it out for yourself at exodus90.com/Michael. That is exodus90.com/Michael. This has become a meme in our culture that now, if you want to make something really fun, if you want to make a form of entertainment really fun, just get the performers drunk, and that's going to make it better. Right? There's drunk history. Oh yes, instead of just talking about history, they're going to get drunk and talk about history. Or the drunk Shakespeare. Yeah, instead of watching good actors perform great plays, well, they're going to just get drunk and do it. Isn't that going to be, they're going to impair their skills and abilities, and that'll be better somehow. Yes, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to have these people go on CNN, watching CNN, always an unpleasant experience, but they're going to get drunk, and that'll be better. It's just so lazy and unattractive. It reminds me that we're not a serious society in any way. I am no teetotaler, far from it. Let me tell you, folks, all right? I love a good drink, okay? A good cigar with a good drink, I love it. All right, I've loved it for a very long time. But I don't like being drunk. This is where we've lost all sense of proportion, and we've lost the idea of the virtue of moderation. Drinking is fine. Christ's first miracle was turning water into wine for people who had been partying for quite a few days. But you need to hold your liquor, people. That is a good thing. You ever read how much Winston Churchill would drink in a single day? He'd wake up, he'd start his day with scotch and soda. He'd move on, he'd have champagne, he'd have brandy, he'd have this, he'd be drinking all day. Winston Churchill was almost never seen in public drunk, if ever. I'm not sure that he ever was. That's what we've lost. It reminds me of that Chesterton line, a lot of Chesterton in today's show, where Chesterton said that the modern world is not so awful because it's so bad. It's in many ways so awful because it's so good. We've got a lot of virtues, but they're totally out of whack, and we don't have a sense of moderation anymore. We don't have a sense of balance anymore. We can't, and when you get these things out of whack, when you don't have a balanced society, things start to break down. Hey man, I'm glad you liked that clip. You know, dog, I appreciated that you watched it. If you want to get more clips, I would recommend you ring that bell, subscribe, get notifications, head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review. We'll see you next time, homie.